Dokkodo, or 21 Rules on Self-Discipline by Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi was a Japanese swordsman, strategist, philosopher, ronin, and a writer. A week before he died in 1645, he wrote his seminal work, Dokkodo, or 21 Rules on Self-Discipline for Future Generations. It's a short work, but it's full of meaning and it contains a lot of general rules and guidelines for life. He wrote it in preparation of his death and he dedicated it to his favorite disciples. It's 21 lines long and each line addresses a different aspect of life. So, what are these 21 rules? Rule 1: accept everything just the way it is. Some things just cannot be changed and must be accepted how they are. There is no point living in denial about your current circumstances or your past. Also, you should not have a very rigid worldview. You need to be flexible in your understanding. What I mean by that is that don't try to reinterpret reality to suit your pre-existing notions of how reality should be. For example, if you truly believe that a vegan diet is healthier, but when you go out in the real world you see people who are vegans are weak, well then you are wrong and you have to accept that. Don't try to recreate or re-alter reality or your perception of it to fit in what you want to believe. Lesson 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not become emotionally attached to pleasure. Pleasure for the sake of pleasure will lower your level as a human being. It will make you less human and more animalistic. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, think of people who are addicted to drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, or whatever. They only have one God, their fix. Pleasure in itself will never fulfill you. Satisfaction is secondary to purpose. Happiness is a byproduct of achievement, self-understanding, and calmness. Pleasure has to be earned. When you chase pleasure for the sake of pleasure, you feel good without earning the right to the dopamine. So you feel fulfilled in the body but not in the spirit. And then you feel very empty inside. Just have a look at the story of the Buddha. He was a prince who had everything, a prince. And yet he wasn't satisfied, right? Something was lacking. And what was lacking was a purpose, something spiritual. Lesson 3. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. When you're not sure of something or someone, you need to be very conscious of how you proceed and move forward. Kind of believing in something is not the same as actually believing in something, and this includes believing in yourself. Some things require 100% conviction, and if you're not sure, you need to take a step back and rethink your plan, because a thoughtless attack will leave you wide open for a counterattack. Rule 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Do not become a self-absorbed person. It blinds your judgment. Create a working mental model of the world and constantly improve it as you gain more knowledge and experience. If you maintain a very light sense of self, you will find it much easier to move on and beyond. You have to be more adaptable to change, and in everything, your ability to change and thrive sets you apart from the rest. Rule 5. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Everyone has desires. Don't get attached to them so much that you lose perspective. You don't want to become like a drug addict craving his fix who's blind to the consequences of his actions. Attachment to desire will leave you open to manipulation and mistakes. Rule number 6. Do not regret what you have done. Regret is a wasted emotion. It's a sunk cost. If you feel guilty over something, then make a note of it and learn from your mistake. But don't hold deep regrets. It only slows you down and doesn't help the situation. You cannot change your past. So don't use your mistake to weaken your future. Don't use it to weaken your spirit. Rule number 7. Never be jealous. Get inspired, but never be jealous. Jealousy is a waste of time. Jealousy only hurts you. It robs you of the happiness of what you have and only brings you dissatisfaction for what you don't. Jealousy is a trap because wants are infinite. In many cultures, envy or jealousy is considered to be a sin, and it's the only sin in the world where you don't enjoy yourself. So if you're going to sin anyway, might as well do something where you have some fun, right? Rule number 8. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Remember that attachment is different from love. Separation is inevitable. People will come and go, men and women will live and die. The only constant in life is God. Rule 9. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself or others. Resentment and a problem mindset will only slow you down and decrease your happiness and calmness. It will give you no benefit. Rule number 10. Do not let yourself be guided by the feelings of love or lust. Both love and lust affect your judgment adversely. People have sacrificed everything: money, reputation, freedom, all in just a moment of love and lust and desire. It is never worth it. Rule 11. In all things, have no preferences. An open mind will enable you to have broad and varied experiences. Sticking only to what you know will make you a small fish in a small pond. Rule 12. Be indifferent to where you live. If you are happy, it doesn't matter whether you're living in a palace or a jungle. If you are frustrated, it still doesn't matter whether you are a pauper, a prince, you live in a palace or a jungle. Refer once again to the story of the Buddha. In the age of the internet, you don't need to be at a particular place at a particular time. You can run your business from anywhere that has an internet connection. Rule 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Musashi was a warrior. Food is just a way to get nutrition and energy. Taste is secondary. Rule 14. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Musashi was a wanderer. The more you carry, the harder and riskier your way will become, both physically and metaphorically. Rule 15. Do not act following customary beliefs. So think for yourself, don't become an NPC. Just because everyone else is doing something doesn't make it a good idea. And just because no one else does it doesn't make it a bad idea. Rule 16. Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. So here Musashi seems to prioritize specialization over being a generalist. However, it should be noted that this was written back in 1645 in a world without automation and technology. In the modern day, code and machines will do highly specialized tasks for you. Being a polymath or multidisciplinary is a better approach for today. Rule 17. Do not fear death. The fear of death makes a warrior weak. Treat life as you would treat a sparring match. Be unafraid, calm, and focused. This will maximize your chances of victory. We will all die in the long run anyway. Rule 18. Do not seek to possess either goods or fiefs for your old age. Musashi was a ronin, a samurai with no master, a wanderer. Having no resources does not appear to be good advice for the modern day. So definitely save money for your old age. You are not an ascetic and probably can't hunt for food or rely on other people for your well-being after you are old, right? Rule 19. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. God helps those who can help themselves. So always strive to do the best you can. Never depend on luck. People who rely on luck fail because they have no plan. Rule 20. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. So while you should not regret what you have done, this doesn't mean that you do dishonorable things. Never do something that's not compatible with your internal code of ethics. Rule 21. Never stay from the way. When you genuinely believe in something, go all in. You have less time on earth than you think. You will grow older and weaker, your energy levels will go down. You have not a second to waste. And that covers all 21 rules in the Dokkodo. I found it to be an interesting and honest view of life, so I decided to make a video on it. For Life Math Money, this is your host Harsh Strongman. If you like this video, please click the like and subscribe button below, and also hit the bell icon so that you are notified when a future video comes out. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.